do, do.
Hey, buddy, hey, let's go!
My Singing Monsters. It's a very beautiful game and one of my personal favorites. You've probably never heard of this game before, but that's why I'm making this video, so you can learn more about it. I'm Speedrunner, and this is my Singing Monsters information vlog. First of all, what even is this game? Well, My Singing Monsters is a game about singing monsters. The game was released in the ancient age of 2012. Yes, 12 years ago. Can't believe a game has held its popularity for that long. Anyways, it was published by Big Blue Bubble Studios and has become probably their most successful game they've ever made. The game wasn't as popular when it was first released, but its popularity started booming in 2022 and is still getting even more popular as the years go on. Now, how do I play this game? Well, this game is available on iOS, that means iPhone, Android, and Steam, which is on computers. And there's also other games in the My Singing Monsters franchise that we'll talk about another time. What is the gameplay like? I'm glad if you're asking this question because that's going to be most of this video. Yippee! We'll start off by talking about the normal islands that have normal gameplay. Most of the gameplay of this game is getting monsters, feeding them, and breeding them together so you can make more monsters and complete beautiful songs like this one. Like, listen to it. It's such a bop. Anyways, back to the actual game mechanics and talking about them. Most of the time, you'll start off an island with one monster. Usually, it only has one element. What are elements, you might ask? Well, each monster has its own combination of elements. There are monsters that have one element, there are monsters that have 2 elements, 3 elements, 4 elements, and there's monsters with 5 elements. Most of the time, you're going to be looking at the natural elements. Plant, cold, water, air, earth, and fire. Or the magical elements, psychic, light, bone, and fairy. But sometimes there's other elements. We're going to talk about those later. Anyways, when you start off an island, you'll have a single element monster. And the other single element monsters will be available in the shop to buy. Usually they're going to be very cheap because you need all 4 single element monsters of an island to really get it going. Once you level up those monsters to level 4 with food obtainable through the bakery structure, you can breed them together with the breeding structure. Now, breeding takes time, so if you're a person that doesn't have any patience, you should not play this game. Anyways, remember those elements I talked about earlier? Those play a crucial part in breeding. When you breed 2 monsters together, let's say Mammoth, who has the cold element, and Potbelly, who has the plant element, you breed them together and you get a monster like Furcorn that has 2 elements, both plant and cold. Always look at elements so you know what you want to breed. Sometimes there's secret breeding combinations for special monsters that have special elements that I talked about earlier. Monsters with special breeding combinations either have mythical elements, seasonal elements, or ethereal elements. Now, the breeding is something that is done on regular islands like the natural islands, fire islands, and magical islands. But there's other special islands where you teleport monsters to them once you get them to a certain level. A good example of one of these teleporting islands is Ethereal Island. You can teleport Ghast, Grumpire, Rebro, Geode, or Humbug to Ethereal Island once you get them to level 15. With these monsters that you've teleported to the island, you can create new songs with new monsters that you probably wouldn't have been able to breed on the original islands that these monsters came from. There's other types of islands though. We're going to call these Vessel Islands. The 3 Vessel Islands that exist in the game are Amber Island, Wublin Island, and Celestial Island. The way these islands work is you buy the monsters from the shop, but once you buy them, they're not ready to sing yet. Most of the time, the monsters are going to be statues, or on Amber Island, vessels. To wake these monsters up, you need to go to the breeding structure on other islands and zap the eggs after a successful breeding to the statues. To look at what the statues need to wake them up, you can just go to their inventory. After you've filled up the inventory with the required eggs, you can wake up the monsters and add them to the song. There are very special vessel monsters on regular islands though, and they're called Wubboxes. Instead of zapping eggs from breeding into Wubboxes, you put monsters into them that are already on the island. Most of the time, the Wubbox requires all of the normal monsters on an island. By normal, I mean ones you get from regular breeding combinations, so no mythicals, seasonals, or ethereals. There's so much more in this game that I want to cover, but with the time span given by my teacher, I can't explain it all. So this is actually going to be a series of videos. The My Singing Monsters vlog series is going to be so fun to record, and I can't wait to finish it. But for now, let's see some other people's opinions on this amazing game. First, we have a friend of mine, Fuff, who says, I don't exactly have much to say about the game other than it leading me to basically who I am today. I started playing the game when I was younger, around 2013. I got really into the fandom and started to make my own videos in 2019. I remember the first thing I uploaded was a monster for somebody I'm still friends with. The monster's name was Robite. After meeting this person and making Robite, I started to get into my own content and whatnot, leading me to meet some people I'm friends with today. The game has led me to meeting most of my friends and has always been an interest of mine, so I have highly positive opinions on the game. Next is a friend of mine named Gigi. She says, MSM is the best thing that has been invented since sliced bread. I will trade all 4 of my stepbrothers for diamonds in MSM, and I have turned down multiple family activities just to play MSM. Anyways, that's it for my vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I thank you for spending your time on listening to it. See you in the next vlog, and happy monstering.